Thank you very much. I would like to direct my question to Miss Comfort Olugbami. So basically, you said you started your real estate brand in University of Ilorin as a student. I would like to ask, I want you to take me or take us on a journey of experience. What was the most problem that you faced during that start of your brand, and how did you solve it? And if you would be able to like share a tip or tips on how to like manage the problem easily, so we can scale it up and move to the next challenges that comes. Thank you.
Okay. First is, as an entrepreneur, you have to understand that problems are why you are in business. It's a mindset, and I've accepted it. Problems will not go away because you are in business because you are solving a problem. So in fact, the foundation of your entire enterprise is a problem you are solving. So once you balance out on that mindset that I'm solving a problem, problems will come, good and fine. On my own part, the biggest problem that I actually faced two big problems. The first one was the character of the environment that I'm operating in. You understand that when you are doing business in Nigeria, your biggest problem is not money. It's the character of the people in the federation. Some of us here, we've raised capital, we've saved money, we've sent it to China, they should send products to us, and that product never came. Your money has gone. So the first problem I encountered was who to trust and do business with. Because my business, for example, is like a cartel business. It is land. It is not for the weak, right? So I had to focus and be very strict on my processes as to where I buy my raw materials from. That was the biggest problem, who to trust. From choosing a lawyer to choosing a staff and everything, that has been my biggest problem. The second big problem is problem that all of us think is the most primary problem, and that's capital. How did I solve the people problem? Hire slow, fire fast, right? I was always thinking about who to choose. Why am I choosing this land baron against this land baron? Careful consideration, because decision making is a skill that you would need as a business person. For the second one, capital, I leveraged a lot. That's why I always tell people, like, you don't need all the capital in the world to start. Remember I told you I used a journey business to fund the major business. My restaurant business was where I raised capital from to start the real estate company. I did not ask for any loan from the bank. So as you are journeying to greatness, you want to scale, you want to do bigger things. From where you are now, what are you doing? Because even the bank you want to ask money from, they need you to have money to give you money. Right? So those were my two biggest problems, and that's how I went about solving it.
Can we give her a round of applause? Okay. Anybody on the line for question for Pastor? Okay, please come forward. The question is directed to Pastor. Go for it.
Yes.
Okay.
Good morning. My name is Mojoyolua. I am a fashion designer and I am also a 400 level student of the University of Ilorin. So my question is this, that why both of you were speaking, you made emphasis about growth and giving. But my question would be about family and how sometimes, especially if you don't come from a well-off background, can be an hindrance to growth. There's the point where you are making money. Everybody knows you are making money, and sometimes some people don't have an idea of the amount you have made or what you want to use your money for. I have a shop, but everybody's like, you have a shop already, you have certain equipment, that should be enough, you're already making money. But there's the vision in mind that this is not where I'm supposed to be, so it's a journey. And so there's always need, and so they know you have money, or they have it in their mind that you have an amount of money. And so if there's the need of, oh, there's a need at home, there's something going on, and there's a call, there's the point of, if I don't give it, is it that I'm being selfish? Because there's the point of, you're supposed to give. As a believer, you should be generous. But the more you give, it's like your giving is a setback. So like you are somehow setting yourself up. So my question is for clarity.
All right. Thank you for that question. And giving is spiritual principle. And I'm glad that when I was even talking about it, I think Miss Comfort was just walking into the all then. But listening to her, I could see the parallel in the truth. And she says something I'll just use because she actually gave that example. I will use the example of what she gave when she was trusting God for an admission. You can only give what you have. There is a quote in law. You can't give what you don't have. You can only give what you have. Most likely what you are still battling with is the, how will I put it, is the mindset of, if I give, what will remain? Now, there is a part of you that you will have to deal with it. Do you get it? But there is another part that, regardless of what is going on, even if heaven is going to fall, you can only give what you have. If you don't have what to give at that point, and because of that, you feel a certain way of condemnation, then that is another thing you need to deal with. Do you get it? So when we talk about giving, it is not that you have to give, now go and borrow. You don't borrow to give. You don't borrow to give. I've never borrowed to give anybody or to satisfy anybody's curiosity. Or if someone have a perspective about you, that is their own perspective and it's good. Just leave it at that. If you are on the level of 100 millions and somebody is thinking you are in the billions, it's fine. Do you get it? But at the same time, don't allow what others are doing to put pressure on you to begin to do what is not in alignment. Do you get it? It is when you have it and you decide not to, that conscience should be there, that you know you can help. The Bible says that when it's in your capacity to do good and you don't do it, you know that is a sin. But if it is not in your capacity, then you don't need to feel bad for not getting it. God bless you. Thank you.
So, what's your question? Okay. Mr.
So, Pastor, good afternoon, sir. My name is Adeyemi Kikiola. I'm a student, 400 level. So while you were speaking, sir, you said something about working your job, like work the job. So my question is, how do I work a job that I don't love? Let me give a simple analogy. So many of us as students, we are either doing what our parents want us to do or what uni learning gave us. For me, for example, I applied for medicine and surgery, but they gave me another course entirely. So how do I do it? Because I am just in school. I know that I am schooling, but I am doing another different thing. I hope you get me, sir.
I get a question very well. And this is actually, I'm sure you're asking this question, and it is also across, but you're asking for so many people. Let me just start from there. But this is not just, it won't apply to just students alone. Even if you are not a student and you are doing something, because this principle is actually very important. There is nothing you are doing in life that is a waste. There is no level you are, there is no way you have found yourself that is a waste. Time will not permit you to share story with you over and over again, where I've been, what I have done till I got here. So that you are doing something. Okay, let me just answer with this story. There was somebody I counseled some years ago and met me, was working in a particular place, wanted to scale that particular business, and it was slow. Doesn't know how to go about it. So later I decided to go for his MBA. If you ask him, then it wasn't really needed. There was really nothing, because he was creating something. So there was really no need for it then. So I told him, say, go for it. Go for it. Whether you like it or not, at some point you have to go for this thing. So he got the class, he started the MBA class, and towards the end of the class, he went for a get together in the class. There was a guy celebrating his birthday, and he sat beside one man while they were there. And the man started talking to him that, what do you do? He said, this is what I do, but I've been trying to scale. And the man was laughing. He said, I've been through this stage and I've conquered this particular industry. This and this and this and these are the things you need to do. You know, at the end of the day, the summary of the story is that that guy went to that MBA school just to have that relationship. Because as I speak to you now, the guy is in the process of scaling that particular business. So what you think, the problem most people have is that you find yourself in a bank. You heard what Miss Comfort said. That restaurant wasn't our thing. But I'm sure when she was running the restaurant, she wasn't running it and we're just here. Let's just do it. There was a goal. There was a purpose. Yeah, there was a purpose. So whatever you are right now, whatever you are doing, put your heart there. You'll be shocked that while you are there is where those things, those doors, those relationships that you will need in where you are going will open up to you. But if you keep looking at what you have at the present and you despise it, you might not see the good when it comes around. Thank you.
If you're learning here, I just see you with your hand. Fantastic. Okay, so I had a question, and my question. So I want this to be as embarrassed as possible, as much as I get the questions from you. Something that everybody can also learn from, right? So, Ms. Comfort, while you were speaking, you said something about how God is going to be in us in everything that we do. God has already a great person everything that we need. And I feel like the still here who doesn't feel like what they have enough, or it feels like you have your but like the first thing who says you don't even teach you how to say. Now, my this question is to thank you to us entrepreneurs that are here. You know, if you feel like this, what I have is situation more what I have you. I do you have any problem? How is it last to know you are here?
Okay.
So you feel like when what you have is so small, how to start from where you are is to show consistency. Now I'm going to break this down. You want something big. How can God, investors, and your staff believe that you will be consistent when that big thing comes? The small you have, some of us we have small container shops, and you are in your office only once a week. You come here by 11. You tell your others that come by 8. You don't come by 8, you lose your job. How can you grow? How can you grow? Because see the thing is, I don't believe that I want to see a reflection of who you already are. In my organization, there's a report time for 8 a.m. and a dispatch time at 5 a.m.
Zoom by 8. You cannot find me not resuming by 8. Everything they are subjected to and more, I am subjected to it as a matter of discipline. Because you cannot say you want to lead at scale and you think that the point of leadership is separate from servanthood. You set standards you cannot abide by and you put other people on those standards. Someone is coming to your shop by 9 a.m. that you put outside as the resumption time. You cannot find them. They call your number. Madam, I'm just waking up. I'm coming. You'll be frustrated for long as an entrepreneur. Because the little you have, you've done nothing with it. We know the stories of the 5 talents, right? So I believe that if you feel like what you have now is not enough, make a covenant with yourself and with God and the resources you have. Because I cannot lie to us how much I believe in the back end of life, which is the spiritual. That every day you will be faithful, you'll be a faithful servant. You open that store at the time you said you will open it. You will be consistent. There is no day that goes in my life. Out of 365 days, I can categorically say at least 300 days I post what I sell. I have never gotten to that point where I say I'm CEO. So now let boys, make my boys the handle them. I don't even have that nonsense mindset. What do you mean by boys? Who are your boys? At the end of the day, we are all stewards. So get to that point and you will see how not enough will start converting to more than enough. Because like I said, the growth mindset, it is every result you have now is a reflection of who you are when nobody is watching. I don't know how best to analyze that. Because even as I'm here, investors are calling for money. I'm the one saying that, I'm not doing MMM. You don't want EFCC to lock both you and me. So if you tell me to take this money and give you 50% return on investment, is you saying you want me dead? I'm the one saying take your money back. Because they've seen capacity over time, they've seen consistency. So prove yourself and your investors wrong about your inconsistencies and watch money flow.
Fantastic. Okay. So, for the sake of time, here's what we're going to do. I'll ask one more question, we'll take two more, and then we'll end the session. Is that fine? Okay, so for those of you that have questions, right, what we'll do is we still have another panel session coming up. We still have other speakers coming up. You'll be placed on a priority list to come and ask your questions. Is that fine? I know it's not fine, but because of the time constraint. Another thing is protocol. Please, can you help us collate all the questions together? If it will be, if we can be gracious enough, I don't know what Pastor and Miss Comfort on that question, but I would have suggested we putting them together and try to see how we can answer them in both. But I believe that so far, so good, the conversation has been engaging enough and has been rich with instructions and direction for life. So please, two more questions and then we call it a wrap. But so ask your question, then I ask one more. And, yeah.
All right. So good evening, good morning, everyone. My question is to Miss Comfort. So I have an idea problem, and when I say idea problem, not lack of idea, I have a vision of an institute, vision of an NGO, vision of a business, and also like a vision of a community, a Christian community. And when I got these things, I was asking the place of prayer. I was confused. I was doing a lot of research. And I'm into investment banking. Like that's where I'm a finance student of. Sorry, I didn't introduce myself. My name is Olatunde Esther, a finance student of the University of Ilorin. I study finance, and I have interest in investment banking. So with everything I have in mind and looking at, because the reason why I went to investment banking, not to lie, I look forward to going into venture capital in the long run. But the workload and because I don't want to do something, I want to be in alignment, right? And I don't want it to be that okay, I'm going to wait for the next 2-3 years before I start everything I have in mind. Like the institute is something that I've seen that no, like it's rare for you to see an institute that solves the problem that I have in mind. It's something that I've seen over and over again. But I'm just like, where do I start from? How do I like my mind to start everything? Like also there is the aspect of money. I am very big on financial independence. So I'm like, should I just invest back for like 3 years, then go into all these things, or should I just start the institute or the NGO or the business? I had to even alt my the business I started this year because I was like, let me finish. I'm also a child. I'm a ICANN student, so I'm like, where do I start from? So that's
Okay. So who is your question address?
Miss Oluba.
Okay.
One step at a time. Very important. And I know what it feels like to be in that circle where you want to, you have so many abilities within you. You can do this, you can do that. One step at a time. I have a personal principle that even though I am gifted to do many things at the same time, because remember I was a law student, I did not have to retake any course or anything like that, even whilst doing my restaurant business. So I already knew that, I can balance out on many things at the same time. I never took more than 2 things, 2 conquests per time. Because from what you're saying, I can already sense burnout, frustration, like, hey, this one is there. I want to make money. And once that anxiety seeps in, you know what the next thing? It progresses into depression that will allow you to do none of them. So break it down. The ones that need resources will probably need you to, or let me not start from resources, capacity. Your investment banking job might require for you to build capacity. You can work more hours. You can raise a certain amount of money as capital. Then from there, I don't know if the institute is supposed to be like a business, but you can now start pouring it into savings for the institute or whatever it is. So my advice to you is take it a step at a time. Have your job and maybe one side skill or stuff that you're doing and take it from there. The rest, keep them as pending tax. your future, you will live long, so you have time to execute on several many things.
Please briefly, straight to the point.
Okay. Good afternoon. Okay, my name is Okikiola, and I'm a student and a plantain cheese vendor. So my question is to Mrs. Comfort Olugbami. So you mentioned earlier that there was a time that you had to like cry, face the wall, when the business is not going. So I want to ask, like, when you're at that position, what were you able to do to overcome that situation that did not make you give up on your dream and career?
Okay, simple and short is I had a clear vision of where I was going, right? That clarity of who I was going to become, and how that this is just temporary, because many of us, we have the mindset that we're impermanent, like nothing will change. What I'm currently going through, when I knew that there was an end date, and that kept me going, right? So in your own downtimes too, I believe you believe that there is an end date, and then like I said, for that my story, I stood up from that point and faced reality. Remember, I said after all the crying and everything, I picked my book and went down to the library. And that is the life skill of an entrepreneur. You vex, you cry, you like, I've done everything, sales, marketing, everything is not working. After everything, you wipe your tears, you face the reality of life. This is a phase and it will pass. And if it does not pass too, because some of us, we say this is a phase, it will pass. It's the cliche that we use. Sometimes you want to analyze your business and your model, that if this thing is not working, something must be inherently wrong, maybe with the system, and you may want to pivot. In entrepreneurship, it's called pivoting. You may want to pivot out of that business entirely. You may want to create a diversification of that same job in a way that will translate into more capital. For example, you're a puff-puff seller. People are already bored with the typical puff-puff. You start to pivot. How can I innovate and add chocolate to my puff-puff? Add pepper to my puff-puff. Innovate around it in a way that there is a new demand for this market. There's also that part. And there's also the part where you walk away from the business entirely because it cannot work. For example, you can never ever be a billionaire selling chin-chin, except you build scale and become mini chin-chin. How much capital will you have to raise before you do that? But there are some industries that easily you can walk into billions. So you have to, as an entrepreneur, know at that point clarity. When am I supposed to walk away from this dream? When am I supposed to dream bigger for this dream? When am I supposed to pivot into sub dreams of this dream? That is an internal conversation, my dear.
Thank you so much. Thank you. So the final question for Pastor, before we go, if you had just one instruction to give someone who wants to truly step into wealth and impact, what would it be, sir?
One instruction. It's always very difficult to put things like this in one, but just putting everything together from since we started, if I will say something to you for in line of wealth creation, I will say that let your work match up with the grace that God has released to you. God has released so much to you. And we've all talked about that. God has released His Spirit in you. You have the Spirit of God in you. You have the wisdom of God in you. But let your work also match up with what has been released to you. And that way, you'll be unstoppable.